This is its first proper little evening run out, and there is a car meeting. It's a weekly meeting. Well folks, we have made it here to the Swettenham Arms. One of the first cars we were drawn to, of course, as you would expect. This brings back a few memories.
Wow,
it's a mobile workshop, isn't it? Slightly faded paint's got that bit of a bloom to it, which I really like on old cars. I spy over here a slice of East Germany's finest. Well, hi folks, welcome to the Old Classic Car channel. And the Jaguar is on the road, taxed. It's already insured and MOT'd. Tax was done today, so we are good and ready to go. Other than taking it up and down the road quickly, it's not really had a run since we agreed to buy it. So this is its first proper little evening run out, and there is a car meeting. It's a weekly meeting held at the Swettenham Arms pub, which is only a stone's throw away from the famous Lola telescope at Jodrell Bank. So as the weather's not looking too shabby this evening, why not go over there, just have a bit of a run out, get a few testing miles under its wheels, because it hasn't really been on the road much in the last few years. It's been off the road, what, 2 or 3 years completely, and even in the years leading up to that, it was only doing 200 or 300 miles a year, if that, between MOTs, yet it was still getting a full service every year. So it really needs just a few miles, and just try and encourage things to bed down a little bit and just make sure everything is hunky-dory, and if there are any gremlins they're going to raise their head, and hopefully they'll do it on one of these testing trips as opposed to on a proper run out. So yeah, why don't we head over to the Swettenham Arms and just see what other cars are there this evening. It's quite blowy, so I hope you can hear me okay on the mic. Obviously this isn't a classic car, but this isn't a classic car meeting, it's just a general enthusiast car meeting, this particular meeting at the Swettenham. So yeah, I have no problem with taking this one. Well folks, we have made it here to the Swettenham Arms. There are quite a few cars here mixing it with the members of the public. But we have seen some interesting cars already, so let's go and have a bit of a closer look and see what older gems have turned up here today. Beginning with this magnificent Humber, a beautiful Humber of the, what year are we looking at here? 33, 34 maybe? I'll have to look it up. RB 9093. But what a cracking looking car this is. This is a weekly meet every Tuesday during the spring, summer and autumn. Obviously I have to check their Facebook page just to be doubly sure that it's actually on. But what a cracker this is. A very original looking glass, reminds me a bit of the old pickup at home. Yeah, and God, look at that, some beautiful interior. What a fantastic car this is. Real quality car. Fantastic headlining in it as well. Beautiful leather seats. I think the seat backs have been retrimmed at some point in time, but the rear seat is original, as are the squabs in here. So overall, that is a beautiful looking, super comfy. It even smells fantastic as well. Oh, yeah, what a cracking looking old saloon that is. I wonder what model we're looking at here. Here comes a Mustang. And from about 1986 we have this, the Vauxhall Cavalier. Is it the Mk2? I think it probably is, the booted saloon. We saw an SL version of one of these at the Oswald Street Ironworks Centre not that long ago. Yeah, this is on a D plate, so 86 or possibly early 87. Yeah, it's quite a rare sight now. As I've said many times before, it's often the sporty variants of these once common cars that get preserved, so yeah, the SRIs and so on. But this, I'm not quite sure what model we're looking at here, must be like a GL. Who remembers Piccadilly Radio? Piccadilly Radio 261, I remember that very well, broadcasting out of the centre of Manchester. So this is the Cavalier L. Got a feeling this panel between the backlights is like an optional extra, this sort of extra reflector thing there. Yeah, what a great time warp this is as well. So very, very different cars here already, but great to see them all. One of the first cars we were drawn to, of course, as you would expect, is this lovely little Standard 10 TYJ 462 still on its original registration number. So this will be the 948cc car, same engine size as the Austin A35, but a very different engine, both 4-cylinder, overhead valve. And yeah, what a little Bobby Dazzler that one is. Yeah, it's a little beauty, this one, very original. Is it? So what's it showing? 46898. Nice, a little belter, isn't it? And of course, this has got an opening boot lid on it, unlike our little 8 sat at home. And it has a nodding dog as well. Isn't that a great little car? Same body shell, apart from the boot lid, as our little 8 at home. The 8 came out in, was it 1953, I think it was? And the 10 followed along shortly after. I think that's the right way around. Yeah, isn't that great? Right, let's carry on along here. We've got one of the Pagoda roof Mercedes-Benz SLs with the roof off, roof down. Very, very swish. And there's an equally magnificent Mercedes-Benz behind that as well. Look at the registration, 1963 MB. What a swish looking machine that is. I think that's probably the one that Mrs. OCC will be taking home with her. Look at the quality of the fittings on here. Beautiful framed windows. What a cracking looking car that is. So that's a 280 SL. That's a North Wales registration, 1965. Got a proper period radio in it as well. These often have Blaupunkts. I think that's a Radiomobile, is it? I think, yeah, Radiomobile. Very, very nice too. So obviously we'll be focusing mainly. There's all sorts of enthusiast cars here, but we will be focusing on the old cars. There's a little Spitty, a little 1500 Spitfire. And here we've got a Mini of the early 1970s, so this will be a Mark III Mini on period Dunlop alloy wheels. Very, very in keeping, just a sort of mod that you would have fitted to your Mini back in the day. Mark IIIs have this double gutter arrangement. Of course, the exposed hinges of the Mark 1 and 2 are gone by this point in time, and they also had wind-up windows as well, so all the luxuries. And we appear to have twin tanks because this is a Cooper S. The early Coopers and the Cooper S's had the shiny metal surround above the door glass here. But clearly that was something that had gone by the time the Mark III came along. Yeah, what a clean looking car that is. I've got a feeling those rear light lenses are off a slightly later Mini. The Mark IIIs didn't have the reverse lights. But it's a straight swap. I think the actual physical size of the lamps were the same. And like I say, you got the twin tanks, that was an option on the Cooper S's. British Leyland special tuning. Next to that, the Morris Cooper S from 1967. So this is its slightly older brother. KSC 118E. So Austin and Morris badge versions were available, of course. And this has got the shiny surrounds over the top of the doors and the slidey windows and the exterior door hinges as well. Yeah. Two fantastic Minis. So that's a Mark 1. That's probably a late-ish Mark 1. Then the Mark 2 came along with a slightly different grille, but still with the slidey windows and the outside hinges. Slightly larger backlights as well. And this is the Mark 3. Yeah, what a great pair of classic Minis here today at the Swettenham Arms. There's that fab little Spitfire, the 1500 that just pulled in a few moments ago. This brings back a few memories. Running various Mark IIIs over the years, back in the late 1980s and the 1990s. So
clean is that?
it is super clean, isn't it? You're right. A very different front and tail compared to the early Spittys, the Mark 1s to the Mark 3s. A bit more like a Triumph Stag or the Triumph 2000 these were. So sort of going with the family look and this chopped off rear end, different bonnet, different doors, different interior. The chassis is pretty similar. Although these have the swing spring rear suspension on them as opposed to the swing axles. We've got a Mitsubishi Evo here. 3 Series compact, modified with a bit of club motorsport in mind. That VW fire van we have seen before. It's just moving over there. There's that glorious little Hillman Imp. What a cracker that is on those wide steel wheels. There's a bit of moving around going on, so we'll try and keep out of their way. Always a real variety of cars. It's only about 6ish, half 6 at the moment, so there'll be cars coming and going all evening, I think. I can see a couple more coming in. Real mix of modern and classic. Here we appear to have a Mazda MX-5, a Mark II, with 1 or 2 very unsubtle modifications, including gull-wing door conversions. So, yeah. Clearly sees a bit of life. Yeah, the wheels are nice actually, aren't they? Very, very low.
I want shift lights on it.
You want shift lights, do you? Yeah, it looks like, yeah. It's had a few dates with the Armco, I think.
It used to be.
Yes. Yeah.
So I also like these ducktail spoilers.
Yeah, those little spoilers are quite nice, aren't they? So let's carry on down here and see what else we can see that's old. There's quite a few cars moving around over there. We'll keep out of their way. I see an MGTD over there. Let's go and have a closer look at that. This one looks pretty original, left-hand drive. I've got a feeling I might have seen this one at Woodford at one of the gatherings there. I remember an American import MGTD over there. So this was the replacement, of course, for the TC and the forerunner of the TF.
It's like an original sort of shooter.
It is, yeah, it's got
a spark plugs.
It oozes originality, this one, doesn't it?
Wow,
it's a mobile workshop, isn't it?
Quite a setup,
Yeah, but that's what you need to keep these old girls running. It is nice, isn't it? Yeah. Very well preserved.
I really like that.
I love how the wiper motors are built into the top of the windscreen frame, designed to take your skull out if you have a bit of firm braking, a bit of harsh braking.
It's got some.
Well, that's how they were back in those days.
Lovely lamps as well.
Yeah, it is super original, isn't it? You know, very old paint. Original paint on the rad here. You can just see the brass starting to appear through where it's been polished through. So we like that. Some make do and mend repairs on the hinge on the bonnet. And those are just the sort of repairs it would have had when these cars were just old cars as opposed to collectible cars that they are now. Yeah, it's great. It's one of your favourites, is it? It's just lovely, isn't it? Yeah, it's just an honest, good car, isn't it? Yeah, it's just sort of evolved to where you see it now. It's not been all apart, probably. No. There's not much in the way of floor in there, is there?
I like the idea of seeing the drive shaft spinning on. That's quite cool, that.
At least you get to see the puddle before you get wet. That's quite handy. Yeah, it is a real oily ragger. And when you see so many of these that have been restored to within an inch of their lives, it's actually great to see one that's just sort of been preserved and kept more or less as is. A lovely no-tech lamp on the front as well. A Lexus GS300, 2002, so same year as our Jag, just over the back there. Let's go and pay it a visit, see how it's doing.
I need to take some photos of it,
Yeah, you need to take some photos of it. So this is its very first outing to any sort of car gathering, as far as I know. So I thought we had to record the moment. We've got to skip, so I'll have a quick inspection just in case. Bit of skip inspection. Nothing, no priceless parts in there.
Follow the car.
There you go. Classic and vintage car meets every Tuesday from 5:30 PM. There you go. Lancia Fulvia. very raughty sounding Lancia Fulvia pulls in. If you're on Instagram, check out Harley's Car Traction, all one word, Instagram account. He's just set that up, so if you're on there, please check it out. Next to the Jaguar, we have a super original MGB Roadster here. We were just ogling our very original MGTD before, and how about this? This really great, really original looking maroon MGB Roadster. It's on a J plate, slightly faded paint, it's got that bit of a bloom to it, which I really, really like on old cars. Just has that real look of originality. All the original seams are still there. Quite often these get filled over, but no, this looks very, very original. It just looks like you could rub your finger in there and just get like a bit of a shine up. Same on the back here as well. Yeah, that's great. I don't know why I find myself drawn to cars with very old original paint, but I do. And again, wonderful seams along here. Often you see bubbling along here where the outer wing joins this panel here. But this one's really good. Yeah, nice. It's got the original row style wheels made by Rubery Owen on behalf of, well, British Leyland as it was then. And a lightweight Land Rover. Like I said before, real variety at these meetings. Something sporty. And here's the Jag. Gave it a quick rinse before. It's probably a bit modern really, but I'm sure there are lots and lots of cars here that are lots and lots newer than this. So there we go. It drove over actually very nicely. There's a slight clunk from the front which I knew about on the suspension at one side, so we will do a bit of investigation work on that at some point, but I'm not worrying too much about that at the moment. Just want to get a few miles on it and just see how reliable it is. Yeah. Kind of looks the part here. Beautiful backdrop as well. Great Beetle here as well alongside the Jag. Many stickers in the rear window. It's got some really nice old alloy wheels on it as well. So what model are we looking at here? A 1300 on a K plate. So is this just before they went to the wraparound windscreen, I think, wasn't it? Yeah. Yeah, that's really cool. And who remembers Moss car alarms, these sort of aftermarket car alarms of the 1980s? You could buy those from your sort of car spare shops. Yeah. Tapton Park VW show. Many events been visited by this great old Beetle. Here's the Land Rover over here, a lightweight Landy, complete with tyre pressure stencilled onto the front wing. And indeed, the back wing, or where there would be a back mudguard. Looks like it's got a new canvas top on it. All the equipment just in case. What's this? 202 Squadron, RAF Lossiemouth. So that's up in Scotland, isn't it? Search and Rescue Sea Kings. The old Sea King helicopter. That's quite a groovy thing. I like this lamp on here. That's nice. Some really cool looking, more modern cars here as well, including that Mini. And up over here, and a much modified Mark 1. So you've spotted this one already, have you?
It's hard not to spot it.
It is kind of distinctive. Again, another variation of the hardtop. Well, this is like an add-on for the standard factory hardtop, isn't it? So that's like an add-on bit that you can just put on, isn't it? You certainly wouldn't lose that in a car park, would you? Where did you last see one of these folks? The Nissan Silvia, the turbo version in fact, from about 1985.
Turbo ZX.
Yes, that's quite a rare beast.
Really nice.
I remember these back in the day. Yeah, great interior. A few little mods in there. I assume there is a steering wheel for it.
You'd have some good grip strength for that, wouldn't you?
Yes. Yeah, we were just talking with Grandad the other day, seeing the lack of steering wheel, and how when I had my first Spitfire welded up we had to tow it back home on a length of rope, and for some reason, for whatever reason, there wasn't actually a steering wheel with it, so Dad had to steer the Spitfire while he was being towed by my uncle using a pair of mole grips on the steering column, which was which was less than ideal. But yeah, there's the original factory brochure. I've got a feeling I've got one of those back at OCC HQ, so there's been a few mods on this one, quite a few little subtle upgrades on it. Yeah, it's quite a cool looking car from the mid-1980s, the old Nissan Silvia Turbo. It's interesting that it's in line as well, because so often cars of this era, by this point in time, the engines were transverse. I know, this is in line, leaving plenty of room for a turbo.
There's actually a lot of room.
Yeah.
Still, it's set quite far back.
Yeah, and pop-up headlights, we approve of pop-up headlights. Yeah, definitely worth having a close look at this one, because this is a car I've never seen before.
It's got a very nice intake.
Hmm?
The intake slabs. This.
Yeah, so quite a small rad on it as well, isn't it? Next to the Subaru here, we have a classic Mazda, the Mazda RX-7, the rotary engined or the Vauxhall engined Mazda. I mean, Mazda, stuck with the Vauxhall engines for years and years and years. Incredible. I mean, we sometimes see that RX-3 at the events that we get to a bit closer to home. Well, these RX-7s are actually a really nice shape. They're very swoopy styling. I always thought, for a modern car, these are actually quite a nice shape. Let me know in the comments if you agree, but I just think that's quite a... I mean, I say modern car, it's what, mid-1990s now, so yeah, 30 years old, but you know what I mean. Let's just have a quick amble around here. TVR Tuscan S, the Porsche 928, is that the S4? I think it is, quite a late one with those bigger backlights. Minis, Beamer, Mini Estate, I quite like those. Past the Fulvia, hello, because I wanted to come and have a look at this Daimler. This is an automatic version of the Daimler V8 250, sometimes called 2.5 litre, sometimes the V8 250 depending on the age. This is a 67, so it's a fairly late example, and it's an automatic, this one, a beautiful maroon colour, really eye-catching car. I did find myself repeatedly drawn to Jaguar Mk2s, and indeed these, the Daimler equivalent. So yeah, they did about 400 or so manual overdrive versions of the Daimler, but the vast majority, like this one, were automatic. I do like those period chrome Britax static lap belts as well. Very, very nice indeed. Yeah. What a great looking car that is. Shades of Inspector Morse, but I'm sure the owner has heard that many, many times before. Daimler V8, the all-important V8 badge. And for something completely different. Okay. Scraping its derriere on air suspension, presumably. I hope that's not standard. I spy over here a slice of East Germany's finest, two-stroke Trabant no less, DDR, Deutsche Democratic Republic, on the D plates, about 1986, so built just 2 or 3 years before the Berlin Wall came down. Left-hand drive, as I think they all are, and these bodies are made out of Duroplast, which is like a compressed sort of cardboardy type stuff. And I remember watching a video of how these were made on the production line. When they're assembling the body, they put the side in, I think, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but I've got a feeling this entire side panel is one panel, and it's sort of bonded on to the structure, and then they chop the doors out once it's all sort of attached. So quite bonkers cars. Like I say, two-stroke. The very last Trabants of this shape did actually move to a more regular four-stroke engine. I think it was an engine out of a Polo or something like that, and had a slightly different grille on them. But the vast majority of the Trabants that you see are these, the original, the OGs, the two-stroke vehicles. Must be a bit of a hoot. Nice Jaguar XK here. A very smart 3 Series, the E36 Cabriolet, the 4-seater Cabriolet, looking particularly nice, and a really vibrant colour of interior. Wow, that's a real contrast. Oh, so this was the replacement for the older, the boxy E30. Oh. Quite a handy car if you've got a family but you want an open top car. As long as they've got small knees, the people in the back should have a very comfy time of it. Oh, very, very nice too. Manual as well. Talking of E30s, here we have a Cabriolet version as well, right next to the E36. So this is the previous car. This is a 320i with a 2-litre straight-six fuel-injected engine under the bonnet, coupled to a 5-speed manual box. Perfect. Here is that fantastic Fulvia. It's 1.3S.
I've been told it's a back marker in its races.
Is it? Alright. Yeah, it's pretty cool. So is this used for circuit racing then?
Yeah.
Is it? Yeah.
Well, it's the Adams and Page swinging 60s.
Oh, the swinging 60s, right, got you, got you. And as someone explained to me only at Tatton Park a few weeks ago, these humps were specifically to raise the headlamps a little bit so that they could sell these here in the UK. So when you see imports left-hand drive, they usually don't have this extra hump up here to accommodate the raised headlight. Apparently it was also South Africa, they had the same slight modification as well.
This air sounds quite tasty.
So over here we have 2 rear engine classics, the Hillman Imp that we looked at a few moments ago, and this glorious Porsche here. Very, very nice too. Now, is this a resto mod?
Oh, was this?
This is the one Alton Park, isn't it? We saw this one. Yeah, this is like a 90, isn't it? 90 or 91. And it's been retro modded to make it look like an early 70s car. What a fantastic bit of kit that is. Yeah, yeah. Well, it appeared at Alton Park, didn't it?
Porsche racing driver or something in the Carrera Cup.
I'm not sure, but it sort of came and then disappeared, then came back again, didn't it?
Yes, it's like a 964, but made to be Carrera or something.
Yeah, it's a real cracker, that is. Right, bonnet is up on the Mitsubishi. Lots of polishing there. There's the Mercury on its air suspension, hugging the ground. This takes me back, apologies, but we used to have a Volvo S40 the exact same spec as this, same colour and everything. I think ours was on the W registration perhaps, but yeah, Mrs. OCC ran one of these for a while. Really comfy car, really good car actually. I think it was turbocharged, not that you would have known it driving it, but it was just a really well made and really, really comfy car. See, it has some cutting-edge East German in-car entertainment in this Trabant. All the mod cons. Bit of Western decadence there. Yeah. Wonder if it works. Yeah. Looks like Triumph tuned twin pipes on the back of this Spitfire 1500. Such a clean example of a late Spitfire as well. How straight is that? Maybe you heard it before you saw it. It's a recreation of a mid to late 60s Lola Le Mans type car, really. Sounds absolutely phenomenal. Last time we saw this one was at the Tatton Park Classic Car Show just a few weeks ago. But yeah, what an incredible car, and this just sounds epic. If you haven't seen the Tatton Park video that I published just a few weeks ago, please check that one out, because this incredible car was one of just many cars that were there that particular day. Now, when did this BMW bike come in, which is parked coincidentally alongside the BMW car? So what have we got? A BMW R60/6, maybe the 600cc. So it's the sort of twin-cylinder boxer engine. So you've got horizontal one cylinder sticking out this side. Same, another one just like that on the other side. Yeah, very, very nice. Real quality bike, this one. So when's this? Sort of mid-70s. Yeah, on an N-reg, so we're not far off there. So you can see, obviously, one carburettor for this cylinder over here. And another carb over here, feeding this side. Yeah. Obviously air cooled, really out in the airflow, so that's going to cool very, very nicely indeed. Lovely cast aluminium crankcase on these as well. Really impressive looking engine, that. In fact, the whole bike is just wonderful, really. I don't know a great deal about bikes, but that's a lovely looking bike. Porsche 928 fires up, water-cooled V8 engine, front engine of course these were. Oh, very, very nice. Car of the year in, what was it, 1977 I think it was. Oh, it's got the pop-up headlamps, very distinctive pop-up headlamps on this one. There are a few cars departing now, including the Roush Mustang over the back there. It looks like this Mercedes will be departing as well. What a phenomenal car that is. 300 SE.
Which one?
How cool was it to see that lovely little standard 10 this evening? Well, things are beginning to wind down just a little bit now here at the Swettenham Arms. I think we've seen most of the cars that are going to pop onto this one. Like I said before, this is a weekly meeting when the evenings are nice and long as they are at the moment. So it's definitely worth popping along. It's definitely worth getting here early to make sure that you capture everything that's here. Anyway, thank you very much for watching this particular video. I'll include links to some of the other places we've been to lately, featuring classic cars, some of the meetings we've been to. Please have a look around the rest of the channel if you haven't done for a while, or if you're new here. And if you are new here, please think about subscribing, because that really helps the channel grow. And there will be many, many more videos along very, very soon. So, bye for now. That's to clear the wax out of your ears.
Looks alright. Sounds a bit beefier than an XJ8.
Oh, Sierra with a V8. TVR engine in this Sierra. Real Q car, this one. Who remembers Q cars? A real sleeper, as you call it now. As we happen to be passing by, this is where we got it from, just over there where that car is under a cover. I notice there's another one over there. Must be strong, must be strong.